When we found out we'd be competing in the BattleBots face-offs, there was only one name that scared us: Tombstone.
I come here to win every time.
It's just straight up bad to the bone. It's the angel of death. It's Tombstone.
I've been watching the reboot of BattleBots since 2015, and ever since I started, I've been a huge fan of Tombstone. Every fight is exciting. It's literally just destroy the other robot, full offense.
Tombstone is one of the only bots to win the World Championship in 2 weight categories: heavyweight, 250 pounds, and super heavyweight, 340 pounds at the Robo Games. It's perhaps the most recognizable BattleBot of all time, with a huge worldwide fan base. And it's also by far the oldest, having competed for over 20 years now.
So one of the hardest parts about developing ORBITRON is the computer vision system needed to track us and the opponent. And so we ended up building a scale model of Tombstone, which we call Tomb Clone, which we use at home to drive around and basically test our vision. Tomb Clone is constructed from 2 laser-cut steel plates and some 3D printed sidewalls, which we printed on a Bamboo Labs printer, which we also brought to the BattleBots arena so that we could adjust things as we saw fit when testing with Tomb Clone. Every time we broke something on Tomb Clone when testing it, it was great to have the printer there so we could fix it right away.
So what exactly is at stake? Well, on the TV show, if you win the tournament, you get the giant nut. At Vegas All-Stars and for various awards, you can get the giant bolt. And for the first time ever, at face-off tournaments, you can get the giant washer, which means you can now unlock the trifecta of BattleBots dominance: the bolt, the washer, and the nut. A feat no team has yet to accomplish. But the real question is, will we get our very first BattleBots trophy, the washer? In the last episode, we knocked out Valkyrie, but lost to Hypershock. Valkyrie beat Hypershock and Tombstone, but lost to us. Hypershock beat Tombstone, lost to Valkyrie, and beat us. Which means, if we beat Tombstone in this fight, it's a 3-way tie for the entire weekend. A 3-way tie with 2 veteran teams and ORBITRON, a brand new team. And we'd get a giant washer. The stakes are high, the nerves are high. Let's get into it.
Yesterday night, we got our robot all fixed up and got everything closed up and went into the testing box, only to find out we've pinched a communication line. Hopefully there's no more damage than just a wire, because once we get that fixed up, we're going up against our most difficult competitor, Tombstone.
We had a lot of problems yesterday, a lot of damage that we had to frantically try to repair. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time today to test. I've just got to kind of have to get it back in the box and see what happens. What they have is a very solid robot. I like what they've done. It's a very cool machine. I honestly don't think it changes what we do as far as the fight goes. We're still going to do our fight, you know.
A little sketchy, a lot of bugs. We're gonna try and get them fixed, but it's just, yeah, you know.
Now, funny enough, Ian and I actually met Ray way back in 2016 at Tormont Tech Days.
And I was super jealous I wasn't part of that business trip, but they did give me an autograph.
I don't think any of us thought that someday we'd own a BattleBot and be fighting him. That's crazy.
One of the cool things that happened this weekend is the guys from RDI brought down their motion amplification camera so we can take a closer look at the robot.
Something called motion amplification. So it turns the camera, it turns every pixel of the camera into a displacement sensor. So you can essentially measure anywhere in the video and also amplify the motion to a point where you can see it. So all the things that you couldn't see that were too small to see now become visible in the video.
As we sweep through the frequencies on the video, you can see different parts of the robot shake at different speeds. So you can see the sponsor panels kind of rattle away. We don't really care about that. But when you start to see the whole robot bouncing up and down, that can really affect the way the robot drives. With this information, it lets us know how the weapons have fared through the fights and lets us know how unbalanced the robot is. I think the robot's going to function perfectly. There's so many individual parts on our robot that all need to work together. The center board on the robot, something is shorted with the power and it's screwing up the right drive desk. I'm going to turn everything off. We've isolated it to being the center board is broken.
So if we replace it, we could have, say, a faulty gyro.
We're fighting Tombstone, which is the fan favorite for the most destructive robot. It tears robots apart, and in the first season of BattleBots, it actually completely tore apart Counter Revolution.
Counter Revolution was a season 1 competitor, so way back in 2015, that had a very similar dual spinner setup as we do. So they had 2 giant vertical spinning discs that would go in opposite directions and that were geared together. You cancel out the gyroscopic effect of a vertical spinner, so you can see that we can turn our robot much more nimbly than other robots.
The con is that you're splitting weight and power across 2 weapons. So each weapon is only half as powerful as it could be.
So one of the differences between us and Counter Revolution is actually the way we drive our spinners. So on Orbitron, we have 2 separate spinner motors, 1 for each spinner. And this is great because it gives us redundancy between the 2 spinners. So if we have a total failure on one side, the other side is completely unaffected. We reached out to Kurt Myers, the captain of Counter Revolution, and got the opportunity to sit down with him and have a conversation.
This is really cool because we've been compared to Counter Revolution from the very beginning.
I'm glad that someone else is taking the concept. You can tell when the engineers come along versus
The machinists.
So, you know, it looks great. I hope that it becomes the new greatest thing.
So Counter Revolution was actually supposed to be a substitute robot for the first season of BattleBots. And when another team dropped out, they had a very short notice to actually get into the box. Which means their robot, which was designed for RoboGames, which has a 220-pound weight limit, didn't have enough time to actually upgrade the armor to the 250-pound weight limit of BattleBots.
He gave us a lot of good insight into fighting Tombstone with a dual vertical spinner.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably my biggest mistake against Tombstone was I started off backwards. We were supposed to have a switch to reverse the driving, but it didn't work because of the gyro or some code.
Tombstone is one of the most powerful robots on the field, and going into a fight like that without the right armor, pretty much a death sentence.
Massive explosion! Counter Revolution has suffered serious damage.
And after ending the round in just a few hits, Tombstone went in for more, leading to one of the most iconic quotes in BattleBots history.
One more.
And after just one BattleBots fight, Counter Revolution retired. And since then, there has not been another dual vertical spinner. Until now. Tombstone's design has pretty much remained unchanged since that original fight. Our design, however, has changed significantly. We've got state-of-the-art motors and batteries, we've got state-of-the-art electronics and AI, we've got weapons by Shred Tech which are meant for absolute destruction, and we have Unibody Air 500 armor, which is designed specifically against horizontal spinners. Alright, so in about half an hour we've got our fight with Tombstone. Now, I've been a fan of Tombstone since season 1. I started watching this show over 8 years ago and was like, that is a lot of power. That's a really powerful bot. I was cheering for it. I was so excited when they won the championship of season 2. 8 years later, I'm getting to fight the robot that got me into the sport.
So our strategy for this fight is very similar to Valkyrie. It worked out very well, and Tombstone is a very similar robot. We'll box rush them to try and minimize how much they can spin up. I think one of the prime targets is the wheels of Tombstone. They are exposed, and so it doesn't take a lot of damage to take them out.
I feel like we got some pretty good odds going in, but who knows what will happen. But if we can beat Tombstone, that's going to be pretty historic.
One of the most famous is Tombstone!
Manual if it's way too bright. Okay, bring it down to 3.
I'm getting down to 0.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, good luck, guys. Okay.
This one's for Counter Revolution.
I'm locked. You're going to kill.
our radio disconnected. And because we weren't running our redundant radio switching algorithm, there was no automatic switch to another radio so that we could talk to the robot. At that moment, Andy jumped in, switched the radio, and then we're completely back into the match.
Try again, let's go! I'm locked.
After we recovered from the radio disconnect, it felt like we had this match in the bag, and the robot was still functioning at 100%. And then we got totally unlucky when Tombstone's chain swung around his robot, went right under ours, and because we had magnets on the bottom, the chain has a tendency to coil up and then actually high center you, and so that's what ended up happening.
Oh my god. So close, that was such a good fight.
Oh, that fight was going so well. We were absolutely kicking ass. And literally in the last minute, we took out their entire weapon, we took out their chain, and their chain, we drove over it and it stuck underneath our magnets and beached us. Our wheels are off the ground and we lost the ability to drive, and that was our count out. The robot is still working beautifully. Everything is pretty much ready to go. The algorithm is still tracking, but that chain just caught us.
I think the team did amazing. We always kept the robot running. We were always ready for every box test. We were always ready for every fight. The team did everything we could ask for of them.
How does it feel, the fact that you inspired this team to get into the sport?
Okay.
And now we're here.
I'm not just saying it, you guys should feel proud of what you've done. It works really well. All the AI stuff you're working with is functional.
It wasn't enough to kill him, but there's a lot of damage here.
As for this weekend's results, well, Valkyrie and Hypershock both won 2 out of their 3 matches. And since Valkyrie beat Hypershock, that means Valkyrie won this weekend, and they got the Giant Washer.
So it's a tradition after every BattleBots fight that you give the team that ripped a piece of your bot off a piece of your bot, and the whole team signed it. So this is for Hypershock.
Oh my goodness.
You ripped off of us. This is a magnesium part from our bot.
Oh, nice.
Spinner.
Magnesium.
And
dang.
You can see you kind of stretched it a bit and it cracked. So
that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
Thank you.
Bogdan's going to present this to his childhood hero, Ray Billings.
The one that got me inspired into BattleBots. This is the top corner of our robot.
Okay, all right.
Smashed up.
Well, thank you. It will occupy a place of honor for sure.
Out of our 7 matches in Vegas, we've won 3 now. And for a first-year bot, that's not bad at all. We're not giving up. We're going to keep going. I want Orbitron to become a world champion. When BattleBots returns to TV, we'll be there. And if you want to help make that happen, consider supporting us by becoming a YouTube member. And you'll get instant access to exclusive 360-degree footage of this fight and other fights, more behind-the-scenes content, as well as access to our Discord channel for all things Orbitron. Plus, exclusive discounts at Hacksmith store and notifications about new product launches like the Smith Blade. Tap the join button below to get started. And if you haven't seen all of our videos on Orbitron, check out the past 5 videos on our channel, linked below. And check out BattleBot's YouTube page for more videos on the Face Off tournament.